Hello and welcome back to Putin Football First on a morning of great disappointment, reflection and sadness if you're a Socceroo supporter, and one where I don't think the football was a winner overnight at all. Morning, Jonathan.
Morning, Tony.
What's that on your eye? Have you killed someone?
No. I was at the Sydney Junction Hotel last night watching the game. Hello to all my friends at the Sydney Junction Hotel. Great night, but unfortunately I might have walked past a little tattoo artist on the way out, and I was feeling a bit sad. And now that he's put this tattoo on my face, I'm feeling sadder. But yes, it will long live with me. Last night's game.
Yes.
It was. We played well. We played very well, and boys, we're very proud of you. But wasn't to go our way last night.
No, look, it just didn't. It didn't pan out. And look, again, going back to the opening match, we didn't lose 5-0. It wasn't a complete shellacking. It was, there was a mismatch there. The entire French team is worth $1.6 billion.
Indeed.
And our collective Socceroo team is worth probably a $300 gift voucher at Rebel Sports Guitar, I would imagine.
Indeed. And on that note, thanks Rebel for the assistance with the ball. We now have an official Adidas Telstar ball.
And it's the real one.
And it's taking pride of place on our set today. Getting back to the game last night, I thought for 75% of the match, we held them out beautifully. I think France were a little surprised. You could see it in the way we were set up. France plays with their wingers drawing out defence.
Yep.
And the three egos in the middle, three amigos in the middle, they run into space and their wingers know how to sort of slide the ball behind defence for them. I think we were up to that task.
Yep.
I could see that Sainsbury in particular had a stunning match.
Terrific game.
But, for 75% of that match last night, we had their number in defence. And it was probably our strongest defensive performance in a long time.
We just did enough. And you can see, I think the French camp, there's a lot of disunity there. Even when they scored the penalty, they would come in, guys, come in. Let's celebrate. We've just scored a goal at the World Cup. I think there's a bit of disunity there, and Deschamps got a lot to do. But football's a game of fine margins, and one of the great things Johnny Warren said many years ago is that it mirrors life, and in life things aren't fair. It's not always the right person who gets the job promotion. It's not always the right thing that happens, and this is why it's the most popular game in the world. And for us, we're on the wrong end of a couple of things that just didn't quite go our way last night.
No, there were some upsides though. Now I have a lot of respect for Deschamps, and today's Coach's Corner will be about him. But I tell you what, it gave me great pleasure to see him getting really upset on the sideline as the game progressed. Unfortunately, it seemed with about 10 minutes to go, France went up a gear and we went down a gear.
That's it.
And that was really the difference. We can talk VAR, we can talk lucky shots, all of those things. That's football. But at that last 10 minutes, we were starting to run out of gas and they turned it on.
And we played in patches of like 5 to 8 minutes and you could hear the crowd getting behind the Aussies. You could just see the ascendancy and the cynical foul on Juric when he came in, when we had a 3-on-2
overlap. Should have been a red. He didn't go anywhere near the ball.
Serious foul play or violent conduct, and it's on probably the soft side of both of those. And
it was so cynical.
You won't get a referee that will give it. It'd be a very wide interpretation of an obvious goal scoring opportunity, and sadly it probably wasn't. It was obvious to us. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't
the closest we were going to get for a while.
It wasn't obvious to them. But after that 5 to 8 minute period, again we tended to shut down, and you didn't see you don't see a better team that technically than France. Their passing was surgical. It was so the precision. Oh, look, a couple of them went astray, but they kept turning us
compared
around.
to Spain of a couple of nights ago. You couldn't say it was that. It was good as Spain.
But they kept turning us around.
They did,
and they were great in tight areas. Terrific in the tight areas.
They were. And look, I've mentioned our defence, but also our midfield. That's where I think we had surges of good play, and then we backed off a bit. But we're getting better and better there. And I think
Matt Ryan as well.
Always
terrific. And we needed a good game from our keeper, and he's world class.
You can count on Matt Ryan, can't you? If there's any hands you ever want to count on, they're the ones.
That's it. So 2 goals, one decided incorrectly by the way, by the VAR. There is footage this morning that has emerged, which we can't show. We'll talk about that in a minute. That Risden actually did get the ball, so it was not a penalty. And I cannot understand for the life of me why those men in the VAR room could not have seen one of those cameras to prove that he did actually touch the ball, played the ball, touched the ball, and therefore it wasn't a penalty. And then a goal that...
I know. I think they call it a bee's dick, was that one, but we
But
won't.
how unlucky. Like he took the shot, Pogba took the shot, it actually came off the foot of one of the defenders. It looped in a perfect arc. He couldn't have... I mean, Moy couldn't have set... He couldn't have architected it any better. Like, over the top, hit the bar, comes down, a bee's dick over the line, and
it's in. You know, it was... Then again, how... Daniel Arzani against Hungary, same thing. You take the shot,
that's it,
and you let the gods do the rest.
That's it.
And the gods smiled on Pogba. I don't know why, but they did, and that's the way it goes. Look, can I just a big shout out to Dimi Petrados. Dimi, great to see you in the starting lineup, albeit on the bench. At Luongo's expense, I believe. But great to see you there. Shame we didn't see you on the field, but hang in there, buddy.
But great tactics from Van Marwijk. Like he would have just left it the way it was at 1-1. As soon as we went down 2-1, he's brought on Juric, he's brought on Azar.
And it did have an effect.
And it
did have an effect, just not quite enough. So well done, guys. We'll be there for the next game. And for all of you at the Sydney Junction Hotel, great night. All right, now Tony, it wasn't the only game last night, and there were a few results last night that are starting to shape this World Cup. Perhaps the most important was Peru-Denmark. There's one for the books. Yes. We didn't see that one coming.
We needed that one to end up in a draw. Having lost the Socceroos match, the other match, you hope that your opposition then draws so that they both end up on 1 point each. Sadly for us, Denmark actually got the result on that 1-0. And it puts an enormous amount of pressure on the Socceroos for the next match.
It does. Denmark 1-0, and once again the VAR had an effect on that score.
It did. The VAR actually got it right this time in awarding a penalty to Peru right on half time.
Should start a board for VAR, correct and incorrect, shouldn't we?
Give them a score.
See how
what are they now?
Performance review.
They're 2-1 at the moment, aren't they? But Peru missed the penalty right on half time, and that could have changed the entire match, going in 1-0 up for the second half. The Danes scored in the second half. I thought watching parts of that game, their ball movement, both teams, was very, very quick, very precise, and I think the Socceroos are going to have their work cut out for them in the next two matches.
Big question: can we beat Denmark?
Look, I think we can. Again, Denmark have shown a few cracks in their defence, a red-hot midfield, and again that ball movement and that transition forward. Again, like Bertel, they've done enough homework in the last 6 months. They'll know the game plan and what to do. I just hope we don't have another one of these 50-50 decisions that go against us. But if Denmark win, and you would think France would beat Peru, well, that's it. That's both those. Denmark and France are through both on 6 points, and we'll just play a meaningless match. We need to beat Peru, need to beat Denmark. If we draw, then there's a whole host of possibilities. We need to then beat Peru on the final match, and then hope that the other results go our way, and then we would go through on goal difference against Denmark, which is highly unlikely. But again, look, goal difference could come into it, and if it does come into it, a 2-1 loss to France rather than a 4 or 5-0 shellacking. That was the positive that came out of last night. We did lose by a huge goal.
Plus the fact that we played well. You know, it was probably the best playing we've done for a long time. We're getting better and better under Van Gaal.
Yeah, that's it. And going back to the Australian game, I know we don't want to segue.
We're very good at staying on track here.
Yeah, exactly. We scored a goal, and again there were three very, very unlikely goals, and the goal we scored from the penalty spot was a brain snap from the French defender. Don't you think from that point on we should have just peppered them with high balls? You know, to me it was just get the ball into the box, give them. They were panicking, the French. So, you know, tactically I think we need to get a little bit better at putting these guys under pressure and getting those shots on goal.
Right, very true. Okay, on to a different group. Argentina, Iceland, another surprise result last night.
Yeah, another huge one. And again, the cruelty of the game of football that Argentina found themselves in a similar situation that France did, where they were the favourites to win. That match has ended up in a 1-1 draw. Again, we had VAR controversy because at 1-1, and the footage has confirmed it. Argentina had a very, very clear shout for a penalty. It wasn't referred to the VAR, but the VAR didn't intervene, and I still don't understand the rules.
I'm happy to intervene in our game, but not in that.
But they didn't, and he clearly clipped his foot inside the box. Again, parallels with the Australian game. Iceland's goal came from a shot that was scored. The keeper spilled it, and Iceland scored their very first goal at the World Cup. Well done. In our game, the keeper made a terrific save, and with Leckie bearing down on him, he's managed to put it. The keeper's pushed it wide on the post. Such fine margins in this.
It's a cruel sport. It's a cruel sport. All right, lastly,
and Messi missing the penalty.
Messi
as well.
missing. You don't see that headline very often.
No,
do you?
and
Messi
of course,
missed a penalty.
And we were talking about it. So of course, it reignited the entire Ronaldo versus Messi, debate.
Only if you're prepared to listen.
I
felt a bit for him. I really did, especially after Ronaldo's heroics the other night. It's obviously going to get compared.
Yeah, exactly.
But Iceland, congratulations. I'm actually going to get up and watch their next game because I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
They're exciting.
That group is officially now prized wide open.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nigeria, Croatia. Now, this was a game that, it was a bit of a narky game all up.
Yeah.
Both teams started out very, very rough, very sloppy. There was a lot of physical play in this game from both teams. A lot of diving, a lot of play acting. It got difficult to watch.
Yeah.
In the end, the strength of Croatia did win out.
Was it their class?
I thought Nigeria were a little bit unlucky. I thought they were really thumped by a very physical Croatia, and I don't think they were ready for it.
But also the Croatian players, Rakitic, Mandzukic, Modric, they all play in the best leagues in the world. Real Madrid. I mean, they
were the difference last night. They're solid midfield and go forward. But they were very lucky with their first goal. It wasn't going anywhere near the net until a defender put his leg out and it was in.
Fine margins.
Again,
great penalty from Modric as well.
Well, great penalty. Can you ever call a penalty shot great?
Oh, I think it was.
It's roughly the size of a bus, and you got to beat one player.
Just until you step up to do it, then it looks like you're trying to take a penalty shot down a bowling alley.
True.
But the best penalties in the world for me have always been the ones that hit the side netting before the back netting. They, to me, are the perfect penalties.
Yes, they've nailed the...
That's it, you give in the keeper no chance, and Modric took a great penalty.
Very true. There is one thing that people should be aware of if Nigeria ever play Croatia again. There are times when you do need to look away from the screen. I mentioned both of their shirts, and Nigeria played with their away shirt, which was a little bit of a problem. It got dull, but when the camera went to the crowds, you either had various shapes of red and white checkerboard, which can do your head in, or you shift to Nigeria with the electric green zigzag pattern. There are those moments where they should put a warning up where all crowd shots, please look away from the television.
We're looking at a test pattern here at the moment.
Yeah, I'm thinking for our set we might have a crack at some of that.
Yeah, that's it.
Very professional.
Hard on the eyes.
So that was the night that was last night. The World Cup is well and truly underway, and the VAR, having hidden for the first couple of nights, has raised its ugly head very, very high.
We've seen the extremes of it. Used well in the Peru-Denmark game, and used very poorly in the
and look, if you're a Newcastle Australian,
it's hard to like
we're never going to win with this VAR. It hates us.
It's hard to be a fan of it when you get stiffed in the grand final. In the Jets against Melbourne victory, and then again for the...
As Mark Bridges said, there's a reason they don't use it in the EPL.
That's it. And our next segment is Coach's Corner, and you have a very, very popular coach who was a former winner of the World Cup in the head of the French team, Didier Deschamps. Jonathan. Yeah, look,
it's a shame yesterday's show went so long because I would like to have put this one up before our game. But there's a lot to know about this man. He's a tough nugget. And I won't say anything more than that, other than Eric Cantona gave him his nickname, which stuck for the rest of his career, the Water Carrier.
Right, let's have a look.
Didier Deschamps is the French national team's 16th official manager. A former professional player, he captained the French national side to their 1998 World Cup victory. Not bad for a man nicknamed the Water Carrier by a famous teammate, also the youngest and only captain of a French side to win the Champions League. He's only the second captain in the history of football to have lifted the Champions League trophy and the World Cup trophy and the European Championship trophy. And there's almost no European silverware this man has not won. A strong defensive midfielder in his time, his tactical knowledge made him a natural manager. His managerial career started in 2003, and he took the reins of the French national team in 2012. In many, many interviews, Deschamps emphasises two things. Firstly, that leadership is not something you can learn, you're either born with it or not. The second thing is how important adaptability is in today's coaching requirements. Coaching a team of mega superstars with egos bigger than stadiums, he walks his talk. In fact, keeping the likes of Pogba, Dembele, Giroud playing on the same pitch would be beyond most mortal coaches. Today's footballers need more man management than skill or tactical guidance. And in the past, clashing egos have been France's biggest weakness. That said, Deschamps has a team of extraordinary talent and speed. Their favoured attacking moves stem from their outside backs getting up and high, and their forwards or wingers moving into space caused when defending fullbacks go wide. France's forwards have been given licence to run into whatever space they see, and these wingers and halves look to feed them the ball wherever they run. It's clever really. Wingbacks and holding midfielders have a rigid set of actions in attack, while the young egos locate and choose the space they want to run, get there and get fed the ball. Not unlike what Deschamps used to do as a midfielder, feeding the likes of Cantona up front of the French team. No wonder Cantona called him his water carrier. Watch out for this free-flowing style in early games France play. Only time will tell if the better countries can close them down. Hi everyone, welcome back. We're going to now move to tonight's games, and our very own Rain Man of World Cup history, Tony, is going to take us through the games.
Qantas. Okay, first up tonight we have Costa Rica against Serbia. Now, 4 years ago, Costa Rica had their dream run. They did quite well. They beat Uruguay, and they weren't expected to. Beat them well, 3-1. They then backed up and beat Italy, and which put a lot of pressure on the Italians that they then had to win.
It's always good to hear Italy being beaten.
So they actually end up topping the group that had, who's the third? I can't quite remember the fourth team, but Costa Rica topped the group. They then went on to play Greece, who finished second in the other group in the round of 16. Beat them in a penalty shootout. Went against the Dutch in a quarter-final, finished 0-0, and the Dutch beat Costa Rica on a penalty shootout. So their run last time was very, very positive. So
unlucky
they're
Costa
looking
Rica.
to replicate something like that.
Good luck tonight.
Yeah,
and Serbia, first time back in the World Cup for a while.
For a little while. We beat them, remember, in the 2006 World Cup, so they've been out of it for a little while, but they came through again, very tough qualifiers, again, hardened footballers. I wouldn't want to go and play a World Cup qualifier away at Zagreb, very intimidating, and these guys, they just knew how to get the results, and good luck to Serbia tonight too.
Indeed. Okay, the next game, one that is very interesting, Germany-Mexico. That finishes off Group E.
Yes. Das Mannschaft.
You would have to say that Germany would be favourites for this.
Yeah, look, again, these are the big games now, so just like Russia, Saudi Arabia, France, Australia, Argentina, Iceland, it's a big banana peel, waiting to happen for Germany. The Mexicans are no pushovers. They're going to look to go further in this World Cup. They did quite well 4 years ago as well. I don't think this is going to be a tricky fixture. I think it's going to be one of enormous quality, and it's going to be one of how Germany are going to react, being the current winners, and a lot of expectation on them to go back to back.
Although Mexico is in I wouldn't call it a crisis. But the Mexican coach is really unpopular in Mexico at the moment, and it's because every single game he experiments with a new lineup.
Yes.
You'd think he'd have run out of lineups, but the Mexicans are really unhappy with the way he does that.
Yeah,
no one knows what his team's going to be. And in that environment, it either goes one way or the other. Either the team gels really well in no matter where they're playing.
One goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 9 forwards.
That's pretty much like that. And wouldn't it be good to see that
it's
against...
like my under-10 football team.
There you have it, everybody. Tony has compared his under-10s to Mexico.
Yeah, that's it. I've given away our tactics.
So we're expecting a Germany win there, but hopefully an unexpected result.
Yep.
And the last one, the big boys are out.
That's it. Brazil, they are itching to go. I saw a great film clip of Brazil training and what they were doing to kill time, because they are down.
Was this the white powder?
It was in the dressing room. Was it?
Okay.
It was in the dressing room.
I won't mention the white powder clip then.
Hello to our suppliers. No, nothing to see here. No, so these guys are itching to get out on the field, and this time around they've got a very, very good side, and poor Switzerland are going to feel the wrath of Brazil.
I feel sorry for Switzerland, but I'm going to be watching that game just to see the Brazilians play.
Well, again, for them, it's the same as Australia and the other. Iceland, try and get a result. If you're going to lose, try and lose 2-1. Try and avoid the 5-0 shellacking, because if it gets to goal difference later on with the other results, it's going to work very much against you.
All right, so there you are, tonight's matches. We'll talk to you about those tomorrow. Okay, before we go, there are a couple of announcements we have to make, or a couple of special things. The first one is to our fabulous audience, and look, those of you that have been in touch on Facebook and emails, etc., and even YouTube, thank you very much. Please tell your friends. Remember to sponsor the channels or like the Facebook page. We're getting a great response from people. It's making us feel good. We're not sitting here talking to nobody. Yeah. But we do have an issue that we need to apologise for. Today's issue won't have any footage of any goals. Now, we've been trying to cut footage of the goals from the games into what we're talking about. Unfortunately, we think it's FIFA has a copyright issue with us doing that. We're not quite sure why. We're in a process of trying to negotiate our way through it, but you'll have to go to alternate footage to see the goals for now. Monday, Tuesday of this week, we're going to try and get that ironed out so we can actually show you bits of footage from the games that we're talking about. As
I said, it's footage being used for the greater good to promote the game, so we don't understand what the problem is. We're not tampering with the footage. So anyway,
no, we'll see how we go with that.
In a strange world.
I'm hopeful. Now we're going to quickly, just before we started the World Cup, you did a fabulous interview with Laurie McKenna.
Thank you.
Laurie, thank you for coming in and joining us. We're going to show you a quick clip from that interview right now, but remember, you can go to our Facebook page, YouTube channel, website, just type in Putin Football first and see the full interview there anytime you like.
And this one shouldn't be vetoed by FIFA.
I don't think they have a crack at vetoing this one. Jets might have a go though. Here it is.
Please don't. Going back to the Australians and in the World Cup, what do you think are their chances realistically?
I don't think anybody thinks they've got a chance of beating France. I think, and that's the first game, so that could make or break your World Cup. But there's no reason we can't get a result, and the coach will be going in with that. They'll be hard to beat. So he's not. I can't see them going in there. Let's go and we're going all out against France, because France is a very attacking team. But first game in the World Cup's cagey.
Yes.
So in that sense, if you can get a result, I can remember the Germany game a few World Cups ago in South Africa. I was there.
That looks really interesting, Tony.
Oh, it was terrific. It was great fun.
I've seen the whole interview. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Laurie is just one of these great guys that, again, like us, likes to talk football and Putin football, talk football, and he was just great to have a chat. And again, thank you for your time that morning, Laurie. It was a lot of fun.
It was. And look, we've also recorded an interview with Phil Dando that will be up a little bit later this week.
And that one's very interesting.
It is.
He takes you back to the 1966 World Cup finals. He was there.
Yeah, if you like Tony's encyclopedic knowledge of football history, you're going to love Phil Dando. All right, that leads us to the end of the show. I want to thank our sponsor, Murray's Brewery. Thanks again.
We're waiting.
We're enjoying it. We're really enjoying it. But we look forward to one day, hopefully, having a beer.
Yeah.
But big shout out to Murray's Brewery and the team. Everybody else, thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
See you again.
I thought we were a bit flat today.
We're a bit serious. I was disappointed. I was really pissed at the bloody VAR. Like I can't do light-hearted, nice stuff when I'm angry at the VAR.
Well, at least
this is the Socceroos. We breathe and live and breathe this.
I'm just knackered.
Yeah, I'm tired too. I'm going to bed. See ya. Nice ball, by the way, Jonathan.
Thanks.